The year was 1945, and Europe was in ruins after the Second World War. The once lively cities were now destroyed, with streets turned into rubble and buildings reduced to ashes. The scars of the war served as painful reminders of the terrible things that had happened. There was a somber silence in the air, only interrupted by distant sounds of reconstruction and the whispers of a continent trying to find comfort. Amidst the devastation, countries struggled to rebuild and reshape their futures. The United States, having become a superpower, looked with growing concern at the Soviet Union, their former ally turned formidable opponent. The aftermath of World War II gave rise to a new conflict called the Cold War, a tense standoff between two powerful nations competing for global dominance. In this destroyed landscape, a secret initiative called Operation Paperclip was underway. It was a covert operation designed to recruit German scientists, engineers, and intellectuals. The United States wanted to use the knowledge and expertise of these individuals, many of whom had once worked for the Nazi regime, to gain an advantage in the escalating Cold War. Major General Hugh Nair, an experienced military strategist, was leading this ambitious effort. He saw Operation Paperclip as a chance to gain a technological edge over the Soviets by tapping into the brilliance of German minds that had previously supported the Nazi war machine. However, this decision raised moral concerns. While the world was still grappling with the horrors of the Holocaust and the atrocities committed by the Nazis, the United States faced a significant ethical dilemma. Could they overlook the crimes of these German scientists and grant them redemption in the pursuit of progress and national security? This question troubled policymakers and sparked controversy within the intelligence community. The devastation in Europe served as a stark reminder of the high stakes involved. The Soviet Union was also trying to recruit German scientists, so the United States needed to act quickly and strategically. Major General Nair formed a team of intelligence officers responsible for identifying potential candidates for Operation Paperclip. Their mission was twofold: to evaluate the scientific expertise of these individuals and navigate their Nazi affiliations delicately. The search began in the ruined cities and hidden corners of post-war Germany. The intelligence officers reviewed files, analyzed records, and conducted secret interviews. They sought scientists and engineers who not only possessed technical brilliance but also showed potential for redemption. Selecting the right candidates would be a difficult task, balancing the pursuit of scientific progress with addressing the crimes of the past. As Operation Paperclip gained momentum, the hopes and concerns of the United States became clear. They longed for a better future, one where the horrors of war would be replaced by technological marvels and advancements that could reshape the world. But at what cost? Could the past sins be truly left behind, or would the guilt of complicity continue to haunt the operation? In this shattered world, as the Cold War began to grip nations' hearts and minds, Operation Paperclip emerged as a controversial gamble. The world watched with anticipation, uncertain of the moral implications hidden within this audacious plan. As a new era of scientific collaboration was set to begin, the delicate balance between redemption and complicity hung in the balance. During the aftermath of World War II, a secret mission called Operation Paperclip was carried out by the United States. Its goal was to recruit German scientists, engineers, and intellectuals who had previously worked for the Nazi regime. The purpose was to utilize their knowledge and skills to advance American science and technology, giving the United States an advantage in the emerging Cold War against the Soviet Union. However, the inception of Operation Paperclip faced moral dilemmas and challenges. There were intense debates within the U.S. government about the ethics of collaborating with former Nazis. Some believed that working with them would undermine justice and the principles for which the war was fought. Nevertheless, the United States recognized the strategic importance of acquiring the scientific expertise available through Operation Paperclip, especially considering the Soviet Union's efforts to recruit these German scientists. Major General Hugh Nair, a highly regarded military officer, played a crucial role in the mission. He understood the urgency of gaining an advantage over the Soviets and was determined to navigate the ethical complexities involved. The initial challenges of Operation Paperclip were multifaceted. The intelligence community had to identify suitable candidates from a large pool of German scientists. This involved extensive research, evaluating scientific achievements, and carefully examining their wartime records. While scientific expertise was the primary consideration, the moral implications of collaborating with former Nazis could not be ignored. Debates within the U.S. government raised important questions about justice, accountability, and the responsibility to ensure that the crimes of the past were not overlooked. Supporters of Operation Paperclip argued that by integrating these scientists into American society, they could redeem themselves through their contributions to human progress. They believed in the transformative power of scientific knowledge and the potential for these individuals to leave their dark past behind. Opponents, however, questioned the morality of such collaboration. They argued that allowing former Nazis to escape punishment would compromise the principles of justice and sacrifice the pursuit of justice for short-term gains in scientific advancement. Despite these opposing viewpoints, Major General Nair and his team continued with Operation Paperclip. They acknowledged the moral complexity but believed that the benefits outweighed the risks. The United States was determined to harness the intellectual capabilities of these German scientists, not only for scientific advantage but also to prevent the Soviets from obtaining their knowledge. Thus, the birth of Operation Paperclip represented a calculated risk. It aimed to reconcile the pursuit of scientific progress with addressing the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime. The United States treaded a fine line, seeking redemption for these scientists while maintaining its moral compass. As Operation Paperclip gained momentum, it set the stage for a significant chapter in history. It blurred the boundaries between redemption, justice, and national interest. The true impact of Operation Paperclip on the post-war world would soon become apparent, as its journey had only just begun. Major General Hugh Nair played a crucial role in Operation Paperclip, overseeing its complex operations. With a strong military background and a deep sense of duty, he was well suited for this audacious mission. Growing up in a family with a strong military tradition, Nair had a strong commitment to his country and displayed exceptional leadership skills from a young age. He was also fascinated by scientific advancements, which would prove valuable in Operation Paperclip. Motivated by a desire to ensure the United States' technological superiority, Nair understood the immense potential of German scientists. He believed that their expertise could give the United States an advantage in the Cold War, where science and technology played a crucial role. However, Nair's motivations went beyond seeking power. He saw Operation Paperclip as an opportunity to redeem these scientists and redirect their knowledge towards progress instead of destruction. With a clear strategic vision, Nair assembled a team of intelligence officers who could navigate the complex terrain of morality, politics, and scientific achievements. He knew that the success of Operation Paperclip depended on carefully selecting scientists with both technical brilliance and the potential for redemption. Nair's leadership style balanced firmness with empathy. He understood the weight of the decisions being made and fostered an environment of open dialogue and intellectual rigor within the operation. Furthermore, he recognized the geopolitical context in which Operation Paperclip operated, with the Soviet Union also trying to recruit German scientists. Nair knew that time was of the essence, and the United States needed to act quickly. Yet, Nair was mindful of the debates and controversies surrounding the operation. He understood the moral complexities and the delicate balance between justice and national interest. It was a burden he carried as he led the initiative. Nair faced criticism from within the government and scientific community, but his unwavering belief in the potential of Operation Paperclip and his strategic acumen allowed him to persevere. As the operation progressed, Nair's leadership inspired his team, giving them the confidence to navigate its challenges. Major General Hugh Nair's role in Operation Paperclip was significant. His dedication, strategic foresight, and moral compass shaped the operation's outcomes and set the tone for its progress. While challenges lay ahead, Nair's leadership positioned the United States for a transformative journey into the realm of German scientific expertise. Operation Paperclip embarked on a careful process of selecting German scientists and intellectuals to contribute to the scientific advancement of the United States. The goal was to secure the brightest minds for the operation, and this involved a thorough evaluation of their expertise, backgrounds, and potential contributions. The selection process began by compiling detailed files on the German scientists. Intelligence officers collected information on their scientific achievements, education, and professional accomplishments. These documents formed the basis for evaluating the candidates. The evaluation criteria considered various factors. Scientific expertise and technical brilliance were crucial, as the United States wanted to leverage their knowledge. Their contributions could shape post-war scientific advancements, making the selection process important. Beyond technical competence, the candidates' backgrounds underwent careful scrutiny. The selection committee examined their past affiliations, particularly with the Nazi regime. The moral implications of collaborating with former Nazis weighed heavily on the process, as the United States grappled with addressing past crimes. The committee assessed the extent of each candidate's involvement with the Nazi regime, including their roles, responsibilities, and any connections to war crimes. Those directly implicated in heinous acts were typically excluded from consideration. However, the evaluation process recognized the complexities of wartime circumstances. It considered whether individuals were coerced or actively participated, as well as their subsequent actions and moral compass. The potential contributions of the candidates to the United States scientific and technological progress were also considered. The committee sought individuals whose expertise aligned with the nation's strategic interests, especially in areas like rocketry, aerospace engineering, nuclear physics, and advanced weaponry, relevant to the ongoing Cold War tensions. Despite the challenges posed by the large number of scientists, engineers, and intellectuals, the selection committee worked to identify the most suitable candidates. Balancing exceptional talent with the principles and limitations of Operation Paperclip was crucial. The evaluation process led to lively discussions and debates among committee members. The moral implications of collaborating with former Nazis remained a constant point of contention. Some emphasized justice and accountability, while others stressed the strategic necessity of harnessing the German scientists' expertise. Ultimately, the selection process required objectivity and subjectivity. Intelligence officers evaluated scientific achievements, while committee members grappled with reconciling pasts with potential for redemption and future contributions. Operation Paperclip's selection process balanced scientific advancement, moral responsibility, and national interest. The chosen candidates would shape the scientific landscape of the post-war world, and the United States understood the weight of its choices. As the evaluation phase concluded, the selection committee finalized its decisions, hand-picking the German scientists and intellectuals who would begin a new chapter in the United States. Their inclusion in Operation Paperclip represented a calculated risk, testing the nation's commitment to progress, redemption, and the pursuit of scientific excellence. Operation Paperclip was a program that aimed to bring German scientists and intellectuals to the United States to contribute to scientific progress. To select the candidates, extensive evaluations were conducted based on their expertise, backgrounds, and potential contributions. Intelligence officers gathered information on the scientists' achievements, education, and professional accomplishments to create detailed profiles. The evaluation considered their scientific knowledge and technical skills, which were crucial for the United States to benefit from their expertise. The candidates' past affiliations, particularly with the Nazi regime, were carefully examined. The United States faced a moral dilemma as it had to overlook the scientists' Nazi connections to harness their scientific brilliance. The committee evaluated their involvement with the Nazi regime, including their roles and any connections to war crimes. Those directly involved in heinous acts were usually excluded from consideration. However, the evaluation process acknowledged the complexities of wartime circumstances. Some scientists were coerced into serving the Nazi regime and faced a deep sense of complicity. They recognized the atrocities committed and sought redemption for their past actions. They aimed to repurpose their knowledge for the betterment of humanity and leave a positive legacy. The United States grappled with the implications of collaborating with former Nazis. While some supported the decision to focus on scientific progress, others argued that justice and accountability should take precedence. The personal narratives of the scientists added a human dimension to the ethical debates surrounding Operation Paperclip. The scientists confronted their past actions and sought ways to make amends. Some dedicated themselves to advancing knowledge in fields like medicine, renewable energy, or space exploration. Others engaged in philanthropic endeavors to promote peace and understanding. The path to redemption was challenging, as some scientists faced resistance and skepticism from colleagues who could not overlook their Nazi affiliations. They had to confront their past actions, address their moral culpability, and strive to make a meaningful contribution to society. Operation Paperclip provided the scientists with an opportunity for redemption and a chance to rebuild their lives in the United States. By collaborating with them, the United States hoped to not only benefit from their scientific expertise but also facilitate their journey toward redemption. The personal narratives of these scientists, along with the ethical debates, highlighted the individual struggle to reconcile past actions with present aspirations. Operation Paperclip represented a complex decision that tested the United States' commitment to progress, redemption, and the pursuit of scientific excellence. The extraction of German scientists from war-torn Germany was a daring and challenging endeavor undertaken by intelligence officers as part of Operation Paperclip. Their missions were marked by risks, logistical complexities, and the urgent need to relocate these scientists to America. As the Allied forces pushed deeper into Germany, intelligence officers faced the daunting task of identifying and securing the targeted scientists. These officers, operating covertly amidst the chaos of a defeated nation, navigated a treacherous landscape in search of their prized recruits. The risks inherent in these missions were numerous. Nazi sympathizers and remnants of the regime posed a constant threat, as they sought to undermine the efforts to extract the scientists. The very individuals being targeted had valuable knowledge that both the United States and the Soviet Union desired, making them vulnerable to abduction or assassination. To mitigate these risks, intelligence officers employed a range of strategies and tactics. They worked meticulously, relying on their networks of informants and cultivating sources within Germany's scientific community. This intelligence allowed them to pinpoint the locations of the scientists and identify the best opportunities for extraction. The logistical complexities of relocating the scientists to America presented additional challenges. Many of the targeted individuals found themselves in war-torn cities or remote areas with limited transportation infrastructure. Intelligence officers had to coordinate and execute intricate plans, often involving clandestine journeys through war zones or the use of forged documents to bypass checkpoints. Securing safe passage for the scientists involved forging alliances with local resistance groups and sympathetic individuals. These alliances provided vital assistance in navigating the tumultuous landscape, ensuring that the scientists could be transported to designated safe zones where they could be extracted without alerting the enemy. The extraction missions required meticulous planning and coordination. Intelligence officers had to consider factors such as transportation availability, timing, and the necessity of maintaining secrecy. Every detail had to be meticulously executed to minimize the risks and maximize the chances of a successful extraction. The scientists themselves faced numerous challenges during their journey to safety. They had to disguise their identities, adopting new names and assuming false identities to avoid detection. They traveled under the cover of darkness, often enduring long and arduous journeys with limited resources. Yet, their desire for a new beginning and the opportunity to contribute their expertise to the United States fueled their determination. The extraction missions were not without setbacks. Some attempts were foiled by unforeseen circumstances or betrayed by double agents. Intelligence officers had to adapt quickly, adjusting their plans and utilizing their resources to ensure the safety of the scientists and the success of the overall operation. Throughout the process, the lives of both the scientists and the intelligence officers were at stake. The relentless pursuit by enemy forces and the constant threat of discovery added an additional layer of tension and urgency to the extraction missions. It was a high-stakes game that required courage, resourcefulness, and unwavering commitment. Despite the risks and challenges, many of the extraction missions proved successful. The intelligence officers' tireless efforts, coupled with the scientists' determination and resilience, led to the safe relocation of these individuals to America. Once there, they would begin a new chapter in their lives, contributing their knowledge and expertise to the scientific endeavors of the United States. The extraction of the German scientists marked a significant milestone in Operation Paperclip. The daring missions undertaken by intelligence officers demonstrated their unwavering dedication to securing the scientific minds sought by the United States. The logistical complexities and risks involved underscored the magnitude of the operation and the lengths to which both the scientists and the intelligence officers were willing to go to make it a success. The extraction of German scientists from war-torn Germany was a challenging and risky operation carried out by intelligence officers as part of Operation Paperclip. Their goal was to bring these scientists to America, but the missions they undertook were filled with obstacles and complexities. As the Allied forces advanced into Germany, intelligence officers faced the difficult task of identifying and securing the targeted scientists. Operating covertly in a defeated nation, they had to navigate a dangerous environment to find their recruits. There were many risks involved in these missions. Nazi sympathizers and remnants of the regime posed constant threats, as they aimed to disrupt the extraction efforts. The scientists themselves were valuable targets for both the United States and the Soviet Union, making them vulnerable to abduction or assassination. To mitigate these risks, intelligence officers used various strategies. They worked meticulously, relying on informants and sources within Germany's scientific community. This intelligence helped them locate the scientists and identify the best opportunities for extraction. The logistical challenges of relocating the scientists added further complications. Many of them were in war-torn cities or remote areas with limited transportation options. Intelligence officers had to carefully plan and execute complex operations, often involving secret journeys through war zones or the use of forged documents to bypass checkpoints. Ensuring safe passage for the scientists required forming alliances with local resistance groups and sympathetic individuals. These alliances provided crucial assistance in navigating the dangerous landscape, allowing the scientists to reach designated safe zones without alerting the enemy. The extraction missions demanded careful planning and coordination. Factors like transportation availability, timing, and maintaining secrecy had to be considered. Every detail had to be executed meticulously to minimize risks and increase the chances of success. The scientists themselves faced numerous challenges during their journey to safety. They had to hide their identities, using new names and false identities to avoid detection. They traveled discreetly, often enduring long and difficult journeys with limited resources. But their desire for a fresh start and the opportunity to contribute their expertise to the United States fueled their determination. Not all extraction attempts were successful, as some encountered unforeseen obstacles or were compromised by double agents. Intelligence officers had to adapt quickly, adjusting plans and utilizing available resources to ensure the safety of the scientists and the overall success of the operation. Throughout the process, both the lives of the scientists and the intelligence officers were in danger. The relentless pursuit by enemy forces and the constant threat of discovery added tension and urgency to the missions. It was a high-risk endeavor that required courage, resourcefulness, and unwavering commitment. Despite the risks and challenges, many extraction missions were ultimately successful. The tireless efforts of the intelligence officers, combined with the determination and resilience of the scientists, led to their safe relocation to America. There, they would start a new chapter in their lives, contributing their knowledge and expertise to scientific endeavors in the United States. The extraction of German scientists was a significant achievement for Operation Paperclip. The daring missions undertaken by intelligence officers showcased their unwavering dedication to securing the sought-after scientific minds. The logistical complexities and risks involved highlighted the scale of the operation and the extraordinary lengths to which both the scientists and the intelligence officers were willing to go to make it a success. After the daring extraction missions, the German scientists found themselves in a new land, facing a myriad of experiences and challenges as they adjusted to their lives in the United States. This chapter delves into their journey of settling in, exploring the cultural clashes, suspicions, and the delicate balance they had to strike between their past and present. For many of the scientists, the transition to American society was marked by a profound sense of displacement. They left behind their familiar surroundings, language, and social networks, finding themselves in a foreign land with different customs and norms. Adjusting to a new way of life proved to be a formidable task. One of the primary challenges they encountered was the language barrier. English, a language foreign to most of them, became an obstacle in their daily interactions. Simple tasks such as grocery shopping, communicating with neighbors, or even understanding the nuances of American humor presented difficulties. However, the scientists were determined to overcome these challenges and began diligently studying English to integrate themselves into their new environment. Cultural clashes also emerged as a significant hurdle. The German scientists brought with them their own traditions, values, and ways of doing things, which sometimes clashed with American customs. Different work cultures, communication styles, and societal expectations created moments of confusion and misunderstanding. However, both the scientists and their American counterparts recognized the importance of bridging these cultural gaps for effective collaboration. Another layer of complexity arose from the suspicions surrounding their past affiliations. Some American scientists and citizens harbored doubts and skepticism, concerned about the scientists' potential allegiance or hidden motives. The delicate balance between acknowledging their past involvement and striving for redemption often became a point of tension. The German scientists had to navigate these suspicions while proving their commitment to their new home. To foster trust and understanding, initiatives were implemented to facilitate integration. Cultural exchange programs, language classes, and social events were organized to bridge the divide between the German scientists and their American colleagues. These efforts aimed to promote camaraderie and build relationships based on mutual respect and shared goals. The scientists themselves faced an internal struggle of reconciling their past actions with their present aspirations. The desire for redemption and the pursuit of scientific excellence often clashed with the guilt and remorse they felt for their previous involvements. Some scientists chose to confront their past head-on, engaging in open discussions about their experiences, and expressing remorse for their past actions. They actively sought ways to contribute positively to society and distance themselves from the shadows of their history. Furthermore, the German scientists sought to strike a delicate balance between honoring their heritage and embracing their new identity as Americans. They celebrated their German roots through cultural events, maintaining connections with their homeland, and fostering cultural exchange. At the same time, they worked earnestly to assimilate into American society, adapting to the values, customs, and expectations of their new home. Over time, as trust grew and relationships were established, the suspicions surrounding the German scientists began to dissipate. Their contributions to scientific advancements and the positive impact they made in their respective fields earned them respect and recognition within their American communities. The scientists' determination to leave a positive legacy and their unwavering commitment to their work helped bridge the gap between their past and present. After the daring extraction missions, the German scientists found themselves in a new country, facing many experiences and challenges as they adjusted to life in the United States. This chapter explores their journey of settling in, dealing with cultural differences, suspicions, and finding a balance between their past and present. For many of the scientists, the transition to American society was difficult. They left behind their familiar surroundings, language, and social networks, and found themselves in a foreign land with different customs and ways of doing things. Adjusting to this new life proved to be a challenging task. One of the main challenges they faced was the language barrier. English, a language most of them were unfamiliar with, became a problem in their daily interactions. Simple tasks like grocery shopping, talking to neighbors, or understanding American humor became difficult. However, the scientists were determined to overcome these challenges and started studying English diligently to fit into their new environment. Cultural clashes were also a significant hurdle. The German scientists brought their own traditions, values, and ways of doing things, which sometimes clashed with American customs. Differences in work cultures, communication styles, and societal expectations led to confusion and misunderstandings. However, both the scientists and their American counterparts recognized the importance of bridging these cultural gaps for effective collaboration. Another complication arose from the suspicions surrounding their past affiliations. Some American scientists and citizens had doubts and skepticism, worried about the scientists' loyalties or hidden motives. Striking a balance between acknowledging their past and working towards redemption often caused tension. The German scientists had to navigate these suspicions while proving their commitment to their new home. To build trust and understanding, initiatives were implemented to help with integration. Programs for cultural exchange, language classes, and social events were organized to bridge the gap between the German scientists and their American colleagues. These efforts aimed to foster camaraderie and build relationships based on mutual respect and shared goals. The scientists themselves faced an internal struggle of reconciling their past actions with their present aspirations. They desired redemption and pursued scientific excellence, but also felt guilt and remorse for their past involvement. Some scientists chose to confront their past openly, engaging in discussions about their experiences and expressing remorse for their actions. They actively sought ways to contribute positively to society and distance themselves from the shadows of their history. Moreover, the German scientists aimed to strike a delicate balance between honoring their heritage and embracing their new American identity. They celebrated their German roots through cultural events, maintained connections with their home country, and encouraged cultural exchange. At the same time, they worked hard to assimilate into American society, adapting to its values, customs, and expectations. Over time, as trust grew and relationships were formed, the suspicions surrounding the German scientists started to fade. Their contributions to scientific advancements and the positive impact they made in their respective fields earned them respect and recognition within their American communities. The scientists' determination to leave a positive legacy and their unwavering commitment to their work helped bridge the gap between their past and present. The German scientists brought to the United States through Operation Paperclip made significant contributions to various fields, leaving a lasting impact on scientific advancements. This chapter highlights their achievements in areas such as aerospace engineering and rocketry, which laid the foundation for future technological breakthroughs. One of the most important contributions of the German scientists was in the field of aerospace engineering. Their knowledge and expertise propelled the United States to the forefront of aerospace technology, transforming the way humans travel and explore outer space. With the guidance of these scientists, the United States made great progress in developing advanced aircraft and spacecraft. Their expertise in aerodynamics, propulsion systems, and materials science led to the design and construction of groundbreaking aircraft that surpassed anything seen before. These achievements set the stage for the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. The German scientists also made significant contributions to rocketry. They used their expertise in missile technology to develop powerful rockets capable of reaching unprecedented heights and speeds. Collaboration between the German scientists and American engineers led to the development of more efficient propulsion systems and innovative rocket designs. A notable milestone in rocketry was the creation of the Saturn V rocket. This enormous vehicle, standing over 360 feet tall, played a crucial role in sending astronauts to the Moon during the Apollo missions. The German scientists played an important part in designing and engineering the Saturn V, using their knowledge and experience to overcome technical challenges and push the boundaries of space exploration. In addition to aerospace engineering and rocketry, the German scientists made contributions to various other scientific disciplines. Their expertise in fields like physics, chemistry, medicine, and computer science led to advancements that impacted diverse industries and sectors. In the field of medicine, the German scientists' knowledge and research in areas such as immunology, pharmacology, and genetics paved the way for groundbreaking discoveries. Their work contributed to the development of new drugs, treatment methods, and diagnostic techniques, improving healthcare outcomes for millions of people worldwide. Furthermore, the German scientists' expertise in computer science and information technology played a vital role in the emergence of the digital age. Their contributions to the development of early computers and programming languages laid the foundation for the technological advancements that shape our modern world. The scientific contributions of the German scientists not only revolutionized specific fields but also had a broader impact on society as a whole. Their achievements accelerated technological progress, opened up new frontiers of exploration, and improved the quality of life for countless individuals. However, it is important to acknowledge that the scientific advancements made by the German scientists through Operation Paperclip were not without controversy. The moral implications and the decision to overlook their Nazi affiliations remained contentious. Nonetheless, their contributions played a pivotal role in shaping the scientific landscape and driving progress during a critical period in history. During Operation Paperclip, tensions and rivalries arose within the intelligence community and among the German scientists themselves. This chapter reveals the intricate dynamics and exposes instances of betrayal, hidden agendas, and potential threats to the operation. Within the intelligence community, rivalries emerged as different factions competed for influence and control over the operation. Some individuals had reservations about recruiting former Nazi scientists, questioning the moral implications and potential risks. These dissenting voices clashed with those who believed in the strategic value of harnessing German scientific expertise, leading to heated debates and power struggles behind closed doors. At the core of these rivalries were competing interests and conflicting visions for the future. Some officials saw Operation Paperclip as an opportunity to gain a technological advantage over the Soviet Union, while others raised concerns about the compromised moral stance of welcoming former Nazi scientists into the United States. These differing viewpoints created a tense and often volatile atmosphere within the intelligence community. Amidst these internal tensions, instances of betrayal emerged, revealing hidden agendas that threatened the operation. Double agents, motivated by personal gain or ideological allegiances, sought to exploit the operation for their own purposes. Their actions jeopardized the safety of the scientists and the integrity of the operation. Betrayal also occurred among the German scientists themselves. Some scientists, driven by their own ambitions and desire for recognition, engaged in secret collaborations with other nations or covertly shared classified information. These acts of betrayal compromised the trust placed in them and created additional challenges for the intelligence officers overseeing the operation. The revelations of rivalries and betrayals shocked the intelligence community. Questions arose about the adequacy of the vetting process and the effectiveness of the safeguards in place to protect national security. The operation faced a critical moment as measures were taken to identify and address the sources of betrayal. In response to these challenges, the intelligence community implemented stricter protocols and enhanced oversight mechanisms. Vetting procedures were improved, and intelligence officers worked diligently to strengthen the integrity of the operation. The focus shifted to identifying potential threats, rooting out double agents, and ensuring the loyalty and commitment of the German scientists. The exposure of rivalries and betrayals served as a reminder of the complex nature of Operation Paperclip. It highlighted the risks and challenges associated with recruiting scientists with questionable pasts. Yet, despite the difficulties faced, the operation persevered with renewed determination to protect national security and harness the scientific expertise brought by the German scientists. The German scientists brought to the United States through Operation Paperclip carried a heavy burden, the lingering effects of their past actions. This chapter explores the psychological toll they experienced as they grappled with guilt, the specter of their past, and the constant fear of being exposed. These internal conflicts had a profound impact on their work and personal lives. For many scientists, the weight of guilt and remorse was constant. They were haunted by their involvement in the Nazi regime and the atrocities committed during World War II. The memories of their actions, whether direct or indirect, troubled their conscience and left a lasting impact on their mental well-being. The fear of exposure added an additional layer of anxiety to their lives. They lived with the constant worry of being recognized or accused. The shadow of their past loomed large, affecting their present and future. This fear not only affected their emotional state but also hindered their ability to fully focus on their scientific endeavors. Internal conflicts tormented the scientists as they tried to reconcile their past actions with their present aspirations. They yearned for redemption but also carried the burden of guilt and shame for their involvement in the Nazi regime. Some scientists grappled with the moral dilemma of whether their scientific contributions could ever outweigh the harm caused by their past associations. These internal conflicts permeated their work, causing doubt about their abilities and raising questions about the legitimacy of their scientific achievements. The scientists struggled with self-doubt, constantly questioning if they deserved the opportunities they had been given and if they could truly make meaningful contributions to their fields. Their internal struggles often affected their relationships with colleagues and collaborators. The scientists' fear of exposure and underlying guilt made them hesitant to fully trust others. They were cautious about sharing personal details and reluctant to form deep connections, fearing that their secrets would be discovered and their reputations tarnished. Despite these challenges, the scientists remained determined to use their expertise for the greater good. They sought solace in their work, viewing it as a path to redemption and a way to make positive contributions to society. Through their scientific pursuits, they aimed to leave a lasting legacy that would transcend the shadows of their past. Over time, as the scientists gained recognition for their scientific achievements, their internal conflicts began to ease. The respect they earned from their peers and the impact of their work provided a glimmer of hope and redemption. Although the shadows of the past never completely disappeared, they found solace in knowing that they were making a positive difference in their new homeland. The utilization of knowledge and expertise from former Nazis through Operation Paperclip raised significant ethical questions. This chapter explores the moral dilemmas that arose, both within the scientific community and in society at large, regarding the responsibility of utilizing their expertise. The decision to recruit former Nazis as part of Operation Paperclip sparked intense debates within the scientific community. Some believed that the potential scientific advancements outweighed the moral implications. They argued that it was necessary to leverage the expertise of these individuals for the progress of science and technology. They emphasized separating the scientists from their past actions and focusing solely on their contributions. However, others strongly opposed collaborating with former Nazis due to the atrocities committed under the Nazi regime. They questioned the morality of ignoring these actions and argued that it set a dangerous precedent by granting immunity to individuals involved in crimes against humanity. This moral standpoint prioritized accountability and the importance of justice over scientific advancement. These ethical debates extended beyond the scientific community, resonating with the wider society. The public grappled with the idea of welcoming former Nazis and their collaborators into the United States. It raised questions about the country's moral compass and its commitment to justice and human rights. The decision to recruit these individuals also raised concerns about potential threats to national security and the integrity of American values. Furthermore, the ethical dilemmas surrounding Operation Paperclip prompted self-reflection regarding the responsibility of the United States in ensuring the ethical use of scientific knowledge. The use of knowledge derived from unethical and immoral actions raised concerns about perpetuating harm and the potential implications for future generations. In response to these ethical dilemmas, efforts were made to establish ethical guidelines and codes of conduct within the scientific community. Discussions revolved around the responsibility of scientists to use their expertise in a manner that upheld ethical standards and promoted the well-being of society. The focus was on ensuring that scientific advancements served the greater good while remaining aware of the historical context and ethical implications involved. As the operation progressed, hidden secrets began to emerge, casting a dark shadow over the scientists and the operation itself. Classified documents revealed the deep involvement and collaboration between the German scientists and the Nazi regime during World War II. These revelations challenged the idea that the scientists were innocent bystanders or unaware of the atrocities committed under the Nazi regime. The documents disclosed instances of scientists willingly working on projects directly related to the war effort and the persecution of certain groups. Their expertise and knowledge were utilized to develop weapons, conduct experiments on prisoners, and contribute to the overall war machinery. The extent of their involvement shook the very foundation of the operation and raised serious moral and ethical questions about their recruitment. The revelation of these secrets not only shocked the intelligence community but also caused public outrage. People demanded accountability, struggling with the fact that former Nazis had been welcomed into the United States and given opportunities to continue their scientific work. The exposure of these hidden truths led to a re-evaluation of the vetting process and the measures in place to ensure the integrity of Operation Paperclip. Questions were raised about the thoroughness of the investigations into the scientists' backgrounds and affiliations. The need for transparency and a more comprehensive understanding of their past actions became crucial. Moreover, the revelation of the scientists' collaboration with the Nazi regime had a profound impact on their personal lives. It shattered the images they had carefully constructed and forced them to confront the truth about their involvement. Some scientists faced public scrutiny, while others grappled with their own feelings of guilt and the weight of their actions. The unveiling of these secrets initiated a period of reflection and self-examination. It highlighted the complexity and moral ambiguity of Operation Paperclip, urging society to confront the consequences of utilizing scientific knowledge derived from unethical means. It also emphasized the importance of learning from history and ensuring that similar mistakes are not repeated in the future. Operation Paperclip, despite its intended goal of utilizing the knowledge and expertise of German scientists, had unintended consequences that had a lasting impact. The decision to recruit former Nazis, despite ethical concerns, affected various aspects of society. One consequence was the impact on scientific advancements. The inclusion of German scientists with their extensive knowledge undoubtedly accelerated progress in fields like aerospace engineering and rocketry. However, it also raised concerns about the lack of diversity and inclusivity in scientific pursuits. Other talented scientists from different backgrounds were excluded, limiting different perspectives and potential innovations. From a national security perspective, recruiting former Nazis posed risks and challenges. While some scientists genuinely sought redemption, others maintained connections and loyalties that could compromise national security. The presence of individuals with questionable backgrounds and potential ties to hostile entities raised concerns about espionage and the leakage of sensitive information, requiring ongoing monitoring and scrutiny. The pursuit of justice was profoundly affected by Operation Paperclip. Granting immunity to former Nazis and collaborators, despite their involvement in crimes against humanity, raised questions about accountability and the moral responsibility of the United States. Victims and survivors of Nazi atrocities were denied justice, while those responsible for their suffering found refuge in a new country. The pursuit of justice was compromised for the sake of scientific progress and geopolitical considerations. Furthermore, Operation Paperclip had a long-term impact on public perception and trust. The revelation of hidden secrets, compromises made, and unintended consequences eroded public faith in the government and its commitment to justice and human rights. Skepticism and a sense of betrayal lingered, casting a shadow over subsequent endeavors and initiatives. During the height of the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, Operation Paperclip took on great significance. The knowledge and expertise of the German scientists played a crucial role in enhancing America's strategic advantage and solidifying its position as a global superpower. The competition for supremacy in various fields, particularly aerospace engineering and rocketry, intensified between the two superpowers. Technological advancements were seen as essential for military dominance and projecting power. The German scientists, with their specialized knowledge and experience, became highly valuable assets in this race. Once settled in the United States, the scientists took the lead in developing cutting-edge technologies and innovations. They played a pivotal role in shaping the country's space exploration programs, missile defense systems, and advancements in aerospace engineering. Their contributions not only advanced scientific progress but also provided a tangible advantage in the Cold War rivalry. The strategic value of the scientists extended beyond technological advancements. Their insights and expertise influenced the development of military strategies and defense policies. Their understanding of German military tactics and scientific advancements during World War II proved invaluable in preparing the United States for potential threats and anticipating the capabilities of the Soviet Union. The intersection of Operation Paperclip with the Cold War had significant implications for the global political landscape. The contributions of the scientists strengthened America's position as a technological powerhouse and reaffirmed its leadership in scientific research and development. The advancements made during this period set the stage for future innovations and shaped the dynamics of global power. However, it is important to acknowledge the ethical and moral dilemmas that arose in this context. The scientists found themselves caught in the midst of a political and ideological struggle, where their expertise was utilized for military purposes. The pursuit of scientific progress often became intertwined with national security interests, blurring the boundaries between scientific endeavors and militarization. The scientists who were recruited through Operation Paperclip took different paths in their journeys. Some continued to make significant contributions to their fields, leaving a lasting legacy of scientific achievements. They struggled with the guilt from their past and sought redemption through their work and personal growth. Some actively confronted their past actions, dedicating themselves to promoting ethical standards and ensuring responsible use of scientific knowledge. Others faced the consequences of their collaboration with the Nazi regime. Their involvement became public knowledge, leading to legal proceedings and damage to their reputations. The exposure of their past actions shattered any illusion of redemption and raised doubts about the sincerity of their remorse. Their lives served as a reminder of the moral complexities inherent in Operation Paperclip and the long-lasting consequences of choices made during times of war. The intelligence officers who played crucial roles in executing Operation Paperclip also had their own stories. Some continued their careers in the intelligence community, applying the lessons they learned from the operation to future endeavors. They grappled with the moral dilemmas and ethical challenges they encountered, reflecting on the compromises made in the pursuit of national security. As time passed, society began to reflect on the broader implications of Operation Paperclip. The operation became a cautionary tale, highlighting the delicate balance between scientific progress and the potential compromise of ethical standards. It prompted a re-evaluation of the mechanisms in place to ensure transparency, accountability, and responsible use of scientific expertise. The lessons learned from Operation Paperclip influenced subsequent policies and practices regarding the recruitment and vetting of scientists. The importance of comprehensive background checks and a clear understanding of an individual's ethical stance became paramount. It emphasized the need to recognize and address the ethical dimensions inherent in scientific pursuits, ensuring that scientific advancements are pursued within a framework of moral responsibility. Operation Paperclip left a lasting impact on history, raising profound questions about redemption, moral ambiguity, and the complexity of human choices during times of conflict. It reminded society of the enduring consequences of collaborations during wartime and the necessity to confront the shadows of the past. The operation became a reference point for discussions on the intersection of science, morality, and the pursuit of justice.